What's going on, guys? It is Chainsaw Man Tuesday, and this chapter was pretty fantastic, as this entire segment of Chainsaw Man has turned out to be. I am endlessly impressed with how well part 2 of Chainsaw Man has been presented and laid out to us in terms of storytelling, in terms of Asa as a character, the dynamic between Denji and Asa, and everything going on in between. I'm just constantly impressed by it. The only thing that sucks is how fast the chapters are. They read very quickly, and it just kind of leaves you wanting more. But I guess that's the point of it, right? You want to leave the audience wanting more. So that's part of the process of being a writer and releasing things in like a serialized format. So makes sense. Let's talk about it. So the cliffhanger of the last chapter was pretty much Denji holding on to Asa for dear life, trying to prevent her from falling into the falling devil's despair and saying, like, you got to find reasons to live. And he came up with all these reasons. And he said, for me, it's because I want to get laid. And it's just like, it was one of those moments where it was like, it's so in character for Denji, but also it like kind of makes sense because you do have to choose whatever kind of reason there is for you to continue to existing, no matter how ridiculous and abstract it may be. And Denji just wants to have sex, man. Like you can't really put it past the guy. Of course he does. Of course. He's a horny dude to begin with. He's a young dude. It's gonna make sense. But what's even funnier is Asa's reaction to this. Asa saying, that is absolutely disgusting. Why would you want to mix your spit and sweat with somebody else? Disgusting. And there's so many like little things that could be going on behind the scenes here or subtly in this interaction. One thing could be the fact that Asa has been so isolated, has never had that sort of deep, meaningful connection with somebody else, has never experienced those things, or has probably never had a guy want those things from her in that way, or at least not a guy that she wants. So I feel like a lot of it is her projection of trying to say it's disgusting because it's not something that she's experienced, and she's kind of embarrassed about that, and she's kind of put off by it in that case. It's sort of like sour grapes, you know? If it's something you want but you can't obtain, you kind of reframe it in your brain as being like, well, I don't want that anyways. That's disgusting. Why would anybody want that? I mean, most people, not everybody, but most people desire a physical connection with somebody in some way. That is how our species propagates. And Denji even says, like, without sex we wouldn't have been able to create this city. Like the whole reason everything exists in the world is because mankind continues to reproduce and create offspring in which we pass down our lessons, and then they have sex and create another one, and then so on and so forth, until eventually you get to a place where you can have this infrastructure and cityscapes and all of these magnificent things. Wouldn't happen if humans didn't procreate and then continue to exist. So there is absolute truth to that, but I think it's funny, Asa's reaction, because I don't honestly think that she's completely disgusted by it. I think that she is saying that because of her character's like background and how she would have never gotten to that place with anybody. So instead of just admitting it's something that she doesn't have or can't have or that she wants, she'll reframe it in a way where, oh, it's just disgusting, I wouldn't want that anyway. So I thought that was really humorous and kind of within character. And then she also tries to make Denji feel bad about it because she calls him out. She's like, well, no girl's going to want to have sex with a dude with a chainsaw face anyways. And I love, because you can't draw any reactions on Denji when he's in his Chainsaw Man form, so you can't draw his eyes or his mouth or his expression. So I love how when she says this stuff, it just cuts to a picture of Denji, just his face. Like, it's just his face. And, like, you can tell what the reaction is because we know his character, but it makes it 10 times funnier because we can't see that expression drawn out and actually expressed on the page. Instead, you just see his like Chainsaw Man face. It just makes it like so much funnier in my opinion. But then also because Asa is being so negative and discouraging, it causes the swell of the falling devil to perpetuate, and then she falls up into the abyss. You know, Denji was actually doing the right thing, trying to get her to think about things that are positive or things that she would want in life or reasons to continue to exist, but instead she continues to double down into the pessimism, which causes both of them to kind of fly up into the void. And here's where the chapter gets really fucking weird. And this is Chainsaw Man, so saying something gets weird is pretty much a given, but things get really weird. I don't exactly know where they transport to. I'm assuming this is just like the falling devil's dimension of some sort because everything is blacked out. They begin on some kind of dinner plate as she's preparing her meal. Asa seems to be passed out. Denji's still conscious, holding her. And then there's this weird demon creature that picks them up, trying to eat them, like some sort of like Berserk Eclipse type shit. And he rips Denji's head off. I love how Denji just grabs the chainsaw handle and then like pushes it back on his head. Pretty funny. And so he's basically just trying to escape this void or this dimension or wherever these characters are in, which it's really cool. I like this concept. It also kind of reminds me of when they went into in Full Metal Alchemist, where they went into gluttony and there was like all that weird shit, just this black void inside of this weird dimension. I don't know exactly where we're at. Maybe it was explained a little bit and I missed it. I don't think it was explained in this chapter, but I think this is just sort of like the Falling Devil's like void dimension. Like it's just like her domain, like some sort of Freddy Krueger shit. Like I don't know what's going on. But essentially there are demons here, or devils, that are trying to eat the meal that the Falling Devil had painstakingly prepared over the last like 5 or 6 chapters. And so Denji is trying to get Asa out until he is confronted with the Falling Devil. Falling Devil says to leave Asa here and I'll let you leave. And Denji says, can I at least take Asa's ass with me? And I gotta hand it to the man. He'd been pretty obsessed over tits in the first part of Chainsaw Man, but now, as a more developed character, as a more distinguished and, persevered and has gone through this journey and come out on the other side a better person, now Denji completely understands that ass is where it's at. And I value that in this character. I'm glad he finally has some taste, some dignity, and he understands that ass, in most cases, are better than boobs. Boobs are still awesome. Don't get me wrong. Boobs are great. Love me some boobs. But a real man knows that ass is king. But then we get twist upon twist upon twist. Many chapters ago, we were suspecting that there was a alternate Chainsaw Man out there in existence. How that works, I don't know. Whether it's not the fear of Chainsaw Man itself has actually manifested a new devil, like the Chainsaw Man devil. So it's a devil version of the Chainsaw Man character, if that makes sense. So Chainsaw already had Pochita, and then there's many theories that that's like not even what Pochita really is. But now, because Denji has been doing this thing and is known, throughout the consciousness of humanity and devils alike, that the fear of Chainsaw Man itself has created a new Chainsaw Man. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's been teased a few times. We saw the little pull tab on the character in the Devil Hunting Club, and it was teased that maybe that was the fake Chainsaw Man, but then he said, no, this is just something that I got attached to me. Who knows what could be going on with that. And in the last chapter or the chapter before, when Denji was kind of on the ground incapacitated, he got revived with blood from a character that was off screen. I was theorizing that it was Yoshida, but now it was probably most definitely this alternate Chainsaw Man, because this character comes from the back, just like a good ass person would, coming from the back of the Falling Devil, and chainsaws the fuck out of her. She is pretty dummy thick also. Who chainsaws the fuck out of her, and he tells Denji that he has to survive until morning in order to get out of here, basically. We don't get to see what the Chainsaw Man devil looks like, though, because it like chainsaws the Falling Devil from behind and then lifts it up, and we see like its legs, and it has the chainsaw arms. Basically, it has the same build, same setup, same design as Denji, but we don't get to see its face. We don't get to see its body type. It still could be like male or female, who knows? But it's here, and it's in this dimension also. So how that happened, I don't know. And then this warning sign to stay alive until daylight, which I'm wondering has something to do with the Falling Devil's powers. Maybe it's something with the meal that it created, like it would only work as like a dinner meal. I don't know what it is, but that's the stipulation. So I'm assuming the entire next chapter is probably going to take place within this dimension itself. It does show Asa regain consciousness a little bit. Yoru is definitely not in control. I don't even know if she has the ability to communicate right now. If it's going to be similar to when they were trapped in the aquarium and Yoru was kind of off, who knows where. So it could just be Asa herself. We're probably going to find out the identity of this other Chainsaw Man in the next chapter. But I could also imagine a lot of crazy, weird imagery and messed up batshit nonsense is going to happen in the next chapter if this dimension remains as wacky as it is, with seeing them on the dinner plate and that one demon that grabbed them. Things could go in so many different directions here. So Overall, I really enjoyed this chapter. I enjoyed the interaction between Asa and Denji in the beginning, and also entering into this strange hellscape that I'm really curious to see how that expands and is explored, and what kind of weird vibes that we can possibly pick up in here. And then I was definitely not prepared for the reveal of the other Chainsaw Man. So I am super, super curious to see where this is explored and where this goes next. So yeah, if you guys like this chapter, let me know what you thought about it down below. Give me your thoughts, theories, opinions on what you think is going to happen next, who you think the alternate Chainsaw Man is, and are you a boob guy or an ass guy? And I'm not going to judge either way. I just want to know where my audience stands. So comment that down below also. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a comment to help it in the algorithm. It will really help me out. Also, I do have a channel memberships, Patreon, merch store link down below. As well, guys, I'm just going to throw this out here too. Some of you know, some of you don't. I've been trying really, really hard to get this Evil Dead retrospective video up. I went through the entire franchise, every single movie, reviewed, analyzed it, talked about behind-the-scenes stuff. I even covered the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show. Well, I'm having some trouble with copyright getting that up on the channel. I'm trying to resolve the issues, but if you do want to see the video early before I'm able to get it up on YouTube, you can go to my Patreon right now, and it is available for all tiers, every single tier, even the $1 tier. Everybody can watch the video on Patreon, but got to give me some more time to give it up on YouTube, if I even can at all. But we'll see what happens. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.